Hello, good morning everyone. I am Pankaj from BMS third year, going to present the topic Demat Systems. So we will understand what is Demat System and what is dematerializations of shares and securities. So let's begin. So firstly we need to understand what is Demat, conversion of physical securities into electronic form, which is a no distinct number to securities required as depositing and withdrawing money from a bank without bothering about distinctive number of currencies. So, second, why do we need Demat accounts and what is the need of Demat? Bad levels due to signature differences, mistakes in completion of transfer deeds, tearing and mutilations of securities, fake certificates, fraudulent interception of certificate in transit, transfer stamp on duty, postal delays and charges, etc. So now we are beginning with dematerialization. It was introduced in India through the enactment of the Depository Act 1996. As it is not mandatory, one may keep his holding party in physical form and partially in demat form. A select list of security announced by SEBI can be delivered only in demat form in the stock exchanges which are connected by NSDL. Uh, so we need to understand who are the Demat participants. So Demat participants are investors, depositors. There are two types of depositors, which are NSDL, which is commonly known as National Securities Depository Limited, and CDSL, which is Central Depository of Securities India. And third, the depositories participants, and fourth, the issuing company. So depositories. A depository is an organization which holds the beneficial owner securities in electronic form through a registered depository participant. A depository participant somewhat similar to a commercial bank. To avail of the services offered by a depository, the investor has to open an account with it through a registered depository participant. So beginning with the National Security Depository Limited, it was established in 1996, which was the first depository in India. The depository promoted by Institute of National Statutory responsible for economic development of the country has since developed national infrastructure of international standard that handle most of the securities held and settled in dematerialized form in the Indian capital market. And second, which is a Central Depository of Services Limited. It was established and business form in SEBI February 1999. All leading stock exchange like NSE, Capital Stock Exchange, Delhi Stock Exchange, the Stock Exchange, Ahmedabad, etc. have established connected with the CDSL. Currently, around 81 lakhs investors and 12,000 companies have admitted their securities, equities, bonds, debentures, commercial paper, units of mutual funds, certificate of deposit into the CDSL. What's our depository participant? Our depository participant is an agent of the depository who is authorized to offer depository services to investors. Financial institution, banks, custodian, stockbroker complying the prescribed by SEBI. Depository can be registered as DP. Investors. There are four types of investors. First is individual, and second in partnership firm, HUF, and company. Beneficial owner is a person in whose name a demat account is opened with depository for the purpose of holding securities in electronic form. Dematerialization process. So from now we will understand the process of dematerialization. What are the big how what is the procedure, and first we need to open an account with depository participant, fill up the dematerialization request form and submit together with share certificate which is to be demat. The depository participant, upon receipt of the shares and the DRF, will issue an acknowledgement and will send an electronic request to the company registrar and transfer agents, the company, through a depository or confirmation of demand. These in the next slide, these are the depositories, which are the procedures that are to be followed with the depository participants. Then issue an acknowledgement to the investors and following the following procedures. Deface a share certificate by putting a rubber stamp, generates a demat request number DRN through his depository parchment module DPM, sends an electronic communication depository with NSDL, CNDL case maybe. The fact that many shares of the company identified by ICN have been received by dematerialization. These are the some process that need to be followed for dematerialization process. These are also a separate rules and procedure that needs to be followed for NSDL and sale to which dematerialized shares will be transferred. The particular mention in DRF should be checked from share certificates. This is very much similar to security of shares certificate and transfer deed in case of transfer of share. However, special attention should be given that pattern of holdings or written on DRF, signature of shareholder on DRF should be verified from the specified signature as per record of the company. All the joint holders should sign the DRF. The data of all demat requests received, DRN, DPD, client ID, distinction number, shares are entered into the computer. After completion of data entry, a checklist containing all the demat requests is generated, which should be checked through and ensure that only those shares for which share certificates have been received and dematerialized. So these are the procedure of dematerialization for an investor, which we discussed thoroughly on a brief in the previous slides. Fill DRF form request, deface the share certificates, dematerialize writing cross, surrender dematerialize, submit the DRF and share certificate to DP, would forward them to issuer, registrar or transfer agent and invest. In next second, investor depository account would be credited with the dematerialization security. What is the time involved in the process? Dematerialization normally completed within 15 days after the share certificate have reached issue their warranty agent. Thus, it will take only a month from the date one hands over share to receive demat credit. These are the some trading and settlement and dematerialization security. If you are a buyer, purchase security in any of the SEs connected to NSDL through a broker of your choice and make payment to your broker. Broker arranges payment to clearing corporate clearing house. Trading and settlement in dematerialization securities. If you are a seller, sell your demat securities any of the stocks exchange linked to NSDL through a broker. If you given an instruction to your DP of the debit of deposit account and credit of your brokers, one paying day your broker gives the instruction to his DP for delivery to clearing corpo. You receive the payment accordingly. These are the charges which is include. Charges are paid through DPS, depository participants. Custody charges 0.01% per annum, rupees 10 for every 10,000 on the average market value of the securities held in account. Settlement charge in the charge 0.02 rupees 20 for every 10 lakh of the market value of the securities being transferred from selling brokers to clearing corporation. Stock exchange and same charges. Dematerialization 0.100 for every 1 lakh of the market value security for rupees 10, whichever is higher. Other benefits: allotment directly in demat form possible, pledge of demat, holding possible, lending, borrowing of demat securities to form and authorize immediately, freezing of account possible, transmission of holding, nomination facility, and rematerialization, the process of getting the securities in the electronic form, converting back into physical form is known as a rematerialization. This again dematerializes shares by filling a rematic request form. These are the some rematerialization process which needs to be followed for the rematerialization. So these are the we discussed about the rematerialization and dematerialization. So these are the some key highlights which are to be followed for dematerialization or rematerialization process, which can be seen to the screen. Investor surrenders physical certificate DP on investor. DP informs the first on the request. DP submit the certificate to registrar issuer company. Registrar communicates. Dematerialization accounts are updated by the registrar and the depository in the form of the completion of dematerialization. Rematerialization process involves the investors make request from in the DP. DP informs about the request. Depository confirm the request to the registrar of the issuer company. Accounts are updated by depository and details are provided to the DP. Investor can receive the certificates from the registrar. So these were all about the Demat account and dematerialization of shares and securities. Hope you understand. Thank you.